Hello, I want to thank you today for joining me for the 2022 State of the City address for the City of Schenectady. I want to specifically thank Jen Coluccio, Alex Sutherland, Jennifer Clifford, and Amy Hill, who provided technical and administrative support for today's address. I want to thank Council President Porterfield, Majority Leader Motiviran, members of our City Council. I want to appreciate the work that they do every day on behalf of the residents of the city. Also appreciate people who are watching live via WebEx or Open Stage Media, or may view this as a recorded meeting in the future. I want to thank our department heads and the city staff for the work they do every day for the residents of our city. It's really an impressive team that we have of dedicated individuals who try and make a difference in people's lives every day. COVID is still an issue in our day-to-day lives. Over the past year, I have and still recommend people get vaccinated, wear masks, wash their hands, and practice social distancing to minimize the spread of the virus, something that we're dealing with and are going to have to deal with into the future. 2021 was a pretty good year for the city of Schenectady. Thanks to the American Rescue Plan Act, which was signed into law on March 11th, 2021 by President Biden, the fiscally prudent work by city staff and resiliency in our local economy, S&P Global Ratings affirmed its A rating for our general obligation bond and raised the city of Schenectady's outlook from stable to positive. Schenectady will end 2021 with a balanced budget. Our expenses will equal revenues. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, we had cut taxes 5 years in a row. And even with the pandemic-driven adjustments over the past 2 years, our property tax rate is more than 6% lower than it was 7 years ago. Again, it's a very good fiscal story for the city of Schenectady. The multi-year trend of property value increases continued last year. There is and has been real value in real estate in the city of Schenectady. We've received half of our almost $53 million of ARPA allocation. As part of that process, I held several neighborhood discussions, and we put in place an online application process to seek community input on using the ARPA money. We now are in the process of evaluating and implementing those projects, which we have to do in a manner that will be compliant with federal guidelines. The Infrastructure and Investment and Jobs Act, commonly referred to as IIJA, provides significant additional federal funding on top of the American Rescue Plan. This is the largest long-term investment in our infrastructure in our nation's history. This will provide money to states and local governments through new and expanded programs in the area of transportation, broadband, energy, resiliency, and water projects. We have now completed the conversion of all of our 4,000 plus utility pole mounted streetlights in the city to smart LED fixtures. As part of our Rev demonstration project with National Grid, this also includes smart city features to improve public safety, transportation, mobility, and environmental sustainability. Our public Wi-Fi deployment in the neighborhoods has also steadily increased, which has been critical to many residents throughout the pandemic. I remind residents of the interactive Wi-Fi map we have on our website to keep everyone posted on where we currently have this expanding service. Networking of all city facilities with a fiber backbone is a foundational part of this project, and we're approximately halfway through the installation of this backbone. It's an ambitious plan and different from other communities, as the goal is a citywide and not just in the central business district to have the services available. To show the importance of this network and how it has affected residents over the last year, we have seen 770 million separate page views on that network. And this was driven by 45,000 unique visitors. The Schenectady Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative was formed in accordance with the Governor's executive order. We have put in place a nationally recognized community review panel for police hiring, school-based community engagement officers, and established a recruitment and education partnership with SUNY Schenectady as part of our ongoing efforts in this area. The Schenectady Police Department CARES program is guided by the principles of Police-Assisted Addiction and Recovery Initiative. This allows individuals in need of assistance to simply walk into the police station and connect with services. This program has helped over 78 people in roughly the last 6 months. We're fortunate to have New Choices Recovery Center, Catholic Charities, and Schenectady County Community Services as partners in the delivery of this program. Our total police calls were down over 11% last year as compared to the 5-year average. This continues a trend that was started pre-pandemic. We continue to develop the new telemedicine platform with Ellis Hospital, MVP, CDPHP Healthcare, and United Concierge Medicine. And we're looking to expand our partnerships with other providers. Our paramedics can perform telehealth consultation with UCM physicians, avoiding costly trips to the emergency room. With 115 certified paramedics, the Schenectady Fire Department is the first and largest department in the region to offer this service. We've updated our city website and have put in place See, Click, Fix, as a new feature. It's to make reporting and tracking of non-emergency problems or issues easier. I thank the city clerk and city council members for adding the C-Click Fix QR code to their business cards to ease the access to this service for our residents. Our garbage collection is one of the great services we provide to our residents. Unfortunately, we're facing two issues. One, our recycled material, which we used to have it taken away at little or no cost. Today, our cost is just under $62 a ton, and that compares to a little over $44 a ton for our MSW. MSW is municipal solid waste. So it costs us 40% more to dispose of recycled material than just regular garbage. The other issue is we deal with individuals depicted in this photograph who put out extraordinary quantities of garbage. And I look forward to working with the council as we look at these issues and how we can hopefully stimulate markets for recycled materials that are going to reduce our overall costs, and also balance out and put some equity in the individuals who use the service and find a way to restrict those people that really take advantage of our garbage collection and drive up our overall costs. We received the Clean Energy Communities designation through NYSERDA last May, and in June, DEC gave Schenectady a bronze certification as a climate smart community. These are given in recognition of local climate action and clean energy leadership. We specifically had significant investment in electric vehicle fleets, our LED streetlights, and our municipal solar arrays. We continue to look for ways to make Schenectady more sustainable. Working with a local company, Livingston Energy, we added 10 new electric vehicle charging stations on Liberty Street. This in addition to the 26 new EV charging stations at SUNY Schenectady. And we're still waiting for the delivery on the hybrid and electric vehicles we plan to add to the police department. It's unfortunately some of the supply chain issues. But we remain committed to reduce our carbon footprint and to add electric vehicles to the city fleet. We worked with National Grid last year, Retree Schenectady, Community Fathers, and SJTA to plant 50 trees in environmental justice areas. The Climate Vulnerability and Adaptation Report, done by our staff, identified the critical role urban trees play in combating air pollution, reducing the heat island effect, and improving overall mental health within the community. DEC's provided us funding to continue our citywide tree inventory and management plan. We're almost done with the $1.3 million investment in Orchard Park, off Crane Street. The land bank, under the leadership of County Legislator Richard Russo and Executive Director David Hogenkamp, coordinated the demolition of 6 adjacent buildings to this site. This added over 35,000 square feet of green space to the Mount Pleasant neighborhood. And we've added a basketball court, playground equipment, and we'll finish this spring with the addition of an outdoor fitness court. 2 additional park upgrades done last year as part of the Thriving Neighborhoods Challenge were the new splash pad at the Wallingford Park and improvements to Jalen Park on Landon Terrace. We look forward to starting construction for Jerry Burrell Park. This will include a new splash pad, basketball courts, seating area, improved lighting, and public art. This is possible because of the support from New York State Parks and Schenectady County. I appreciate the City Council's early support for a new pool in Central Park. This will allow us to deal with State Department of Health compliance issues with our current pool, reduce our overall maintenance issues, and complement our past investments in Music Haven, the A-Diamond, and tennis courts. Central Park, again, is really a great facility. Encourage people who haven't had the opportunity to go in and see the things that are there, take the time, stop by, and really enjoy what we have. We've reduced the number of properties on our vacant property registry in the last year from over 800 to 386, cut it by half. It's significant. Again, distressed property still drives a lot of our expense for our code enforcement, for policing and the fire department, and has a negative effect on general city revenue. It's an area that we have to continue to collectively work on. And again, it's one that Schenectady has a fairly good track record on, but it's still significant and one we continue to have to focus our efforts. Since 2014, we've demolished over 200 blighted and vacant buildings in our neighborhoods. We're scheduling the removal of another 13 this year. We've sold over 100 properties last year through our award-winning homes program, and homeownership made easy in Schenectady. Our focus continues to be creating owner-occupied homes in our neighborhoods. Just under 750 properties have moved through this program in the last 9 years. The homes program also continues to be a good source of revenue. This program not only puts properties back on the tax rolls for continued and stable revenue stream, but last year generated over $3.7 million in gross revenue through our sales. Work continues at the new Northside Village on Van Dranken Avenue, both Hillside Crossing on Albany Street and Renaissance Square just off Eastern Avenue are open and fully occupied. These developments represent over $150 million worth of investments in our community. The new DePaul 60-unit housing the 60-unit housing for senior and veterans development on Crane Street is moving through the planning process, and construction is scheduled to start later this year. This will be a significant addition to the new Boys and Girls Club in the county library in the Mount Pleasant neighborhood. The revitalization of our community, the economic activity is significant. We've got major development. We've seen the 440,000 square foot project in the Mill Artisan District on State Street, 67,000 square feet work at the former Trusco headquarters. You have 66,500 square feet in a new apartment building at 501 State Street. So 40,000 square foot building, the YWCA's facility on Washington Avenue. We've seen work and renovations at the old Gazette Press building, renovation the former OTB headquarters, and also we've seen rehabilitation of a building just across from City Hall here at Jay and Franklin Streets. The final testing and site work will be completed this spring at the North Ferry Street pump station. This is a major upgrade to this critical piece of infrastructure and stabilizes our system for high water events and positions our community for future growth and sustainability. In rebuilding our infrastructure, projects that we completed last year and some are still ongoing. There was $1.5 million worth of work done on South Church Street. The Broadway pavement preservation project, largely in Bellevue, was $1.4 million. The $750,000 we spent on the long-awaited upgrades to the storm line for Lancaster, Wyoming, and Brenneside. It's done a substantial amount of work for the intersection improvements at Dock Wendell and Rosa Road. The intersection is done at Forest and Francis. That was just under $300,000. We have planned $100,000 improvement for the intersection at Knott Street and McClellan for signalization and modifications again to the curbs there. This year, we have approximately $40 million of pending projects. These include $5.7 million in our general paving program. We're finally going to be able to undertake the $1.5 million upgrades to Brandywine Avenue between State Street and 890. Got $1.1 million for downtown pedestrian safety improvements. The $5 million project for Kings Road Bridge replacement. So $3.1 million for Francis Avenue Bridge deck replacement. The upgrades for the Crane Main Chrysler intersection, $750,000. A significant portion of that was made available through Assemblymember Angelo Santa Barbara. The $1 million upgrades for the bicycle track on Franklin Street. $250,000 for bicycle path improvements on Washington Avenue. In phase 2 and 3, we're going to, in Vale Park, we're going to spend approximately $350,000 to complete those. The $3.1 million Francis Avenue Bridge deck replacement, that was awarded through a competitive program, Bridge New York. Again, it shows that we're able to put together projects that we compete with regionally and do it in a successful manner. And I thank the city engineer, Chris Wallen, and the team for making some of that possible. This particular project will require the Francis Avenue Bridge to be closed to both vehicles and pedestrians from March 14th through August 1st. Well, we look to minimize that inconvenience. We're doing that so that it speeds up the overall project and reduces the overall cost. This project, again, includes the complete removal and replacement of the concrete bridge deck along with the sidewalks, and it will result in increased lighting for that structure. We're similar to other national entities and other levels of government. We're having difficulty filling some of the positions at City Hall. I encourage people to go to the city website, look and see what positions are open. Consider joining the great team of people that we have working in the city of Schenectady. We ended 2021 with a bright light. Our first annual Luminosity event brought building owners, businesses, and not-for-profits together to celebrate the holiday season. I want to thank DSIC and National Grid for making that possible. I also had the pleasure of walking with our governor, Kathy Hochul, while she did some Christmas shopping on J Street here in Schenectady. I'm proud of the record we have. We have a bright future, and it's an exciting time to be in Schenectady. Again, appreciate the work that our city council does, our department heads, and the city staff. So I want to thank everyone for joining today. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day.